Hey guys, I'm Akshat over here, and today I want to talk to you about what impresses me the most about people. And I feel like this is exactly what should impress you about people as well. And you're free to disagree with me, but let's see if you do. Okay, so here's the thing. So I spoke about it in one of my videos where I speak about the my whole understanding of this toxic information culture. Like, it's see, I use the word toxic information culture as in information inherently is not toxic, but the way we are processing information and the way the information is making us feel about ourselves could indeed be very toxic. Now, what I mean is, today we have information coming from all around the world, like all different sources. There's Instagram, there is news, there is newspapers, there is Facebook, there is YouTube, there's all sorts of stuff, right? There's so many different mediums through which we are learning and listening to information all the time. So now the problem with it is, while it's a good and there is good to it, but there's a lot of bad to it. And now we're talking about the bad today. The bad side of it all is that most of the information that we learn on the internet, most of the information that we hear is very over the top information, right? It's just the tip of the iceberg. The real iceberg is below. The depth of the iceberg is below. You can never know a depth of a person or depth of an iceberg by touching it from the top or looking at it from the top. You have to go down and actually see how big it is. So the same way comes to people and the same way comes to information. Now, a lot of people look like a big iceberg because they embody themselves or they sound like it. People have Okay, in today's world, let me put this is the best way I can put it, okay? In today's world, it's very, very, very easy for a person to come off as smart. Like, you can almost never make out if someone is dumb or smart. Or you can if you know the right things to do, which I will tell you about what you can do. So people can sound really, really smart in today's age because we get information from so many directions. Even if you don't know something, like even if you don't know about cryptocurrency, and you see your friends like constantly putting Instagram stories about it, like, hey, Shiba Inu to the moon, hey, Luna, which is down to zero now, by the way. I'm not a crypto buff, but like, this is just what comes to my head. So all of this information, okay, you randomly look at it. You never really sign up for this information, but you are looking at it now and you are reading it, and you sort of have an idea, okay, this is happening there and that is happening there and all of that stuff. So this becomes over the top knowledge which you sort of carry with yourself. And now you carry all this knowledge with yourself and you go into conversations, you go into social scenarios, and you're talking to people.
कैसे 25 दिन में करोड़पति करोड़पति 25 दिन में मैं कोई गांव से आया हूँ क्या? नकली नोट छापने का धंधा है क्या?
धंधा नहीं है ये। ओह, सरक उधर। एक स्कीम है, अमीरों की स्कीम मेरे हाथ लगी है। 25 दिन में पैसा डबल।
25 दिन में पैसा डबल?
Now, no matter what people are talking about and no matter how little you understand it, you have the ability to still be a part of that conversation and even share a point or two just to make yourself feel involved, just to make yourself feel better. But in reality, you don't know much. Now, where this is coming from is, where this realization mainly hit me is, like, I've known this for a while, but like recently I gave an interview for a German university. So where I applied for my master's in psychology and I gave an interview for German universities. And what impressed me the most about that interview is the fact that, like, they at every point they wanted to know why, the real reason why I really wanted to do this course and why exactly I want to study MA in business and organizational psychology, which is what I opted for, and I have gotten in, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
What impressed me the most about those interviewers at that point is they wanted to know my story. They wanted to know why exactly I was doing what I was doing. Now, I had my story planned, like, I already have a story which I shared. So once I shared the story and the story like sounded very nice and all of that stuff, they weren't necessarily impressed by it. They weren't necessarily satisfied completely by it. Like, whereas they were more intrigued by how I really came up to that, story. How I really came up to that conclusion which I had in that story. Now, what they did was they kept breaking the process down of my life, of the entire things, of all the events that happened in my life from whenever I started the story till the end, and they wanted to know exactly the moments and exactly the things that happened which may help me to realize certain things in my life. When I spoke about shared about certain realizations that I have had about the way maybe my mission or my inherent my soul mission to make this world a more emotion intelligent place and all of that stuff, they were more interested in what events led to me coming to this belief, So what my point with this entire story is that don't be impressed by what people tell you. Don't be impressed by how smart people sound. Don't be impressed by this apparent wisdom that people seem to be displaying. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They may be extremely intelligent people, but always be more interested in how they arrive to that realization, in how they arrive to that particular belief. People can believe in a lot of popular things because it makes them seem more socially acceptable, makes them seem forward. For example, you see this in arranged marriages all the time. Like, I don't know if you've had one, but you would have probably heard of stories where people fake shit to each other during arranged marriages, right? They speak to each other, they say certain things, and they know how to sound right, they know how to sound socially acceptable, they know how to sound in a way that they know that the other person will like them. But in reality, it's very easy to look through them if you just ask them a few more questions. Like, always be intrigued by how someone arrives to a solution than the solution itself. Like, this is not just for you to understand if someone is smart or not, but in this process of thinking and questioning, I guarantee you will be 10,000 times smarter than you were before. And every time you do this in a conversation, in every situation, you will not only learn more things, but you will become an excellent excellent people person, an excellent people observer, an excellent judge of character at the same time. So there are a lot of benefits to it underlying benefits to it that I'm probably not even mentioning right now. But remember this. Don't be in the false illusion of knowledge. Don't be in the false illusion of knowing a lot of things when you really don't know much. Know your own biases. Know where your limitations are. And to be honest, you don't have to know everything. So where you don't, just submit and say you don't. And if you want to learn about it, learn. Nobody is going to stop you. So one last time, remember very carefully, do not be impressed or do not be the most interested in the beliefs that people have, in the things that people say. Be a lot more curious, a lot more inquisitive about how they came up with these realizations. That story will teach you far more things than the ultimate realization or the ultimate belief in itself.
समझ रहे हो? समझ रहे हो आप? समझ रहे हो ना?
Remember this. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, if you like this video and if you are interested in watching more videos like this which has a lot of depth in them, then this is your channel to follow. Please subscribe to my channel and please share this video with all your friends. Thank you. Have a great day.